I made a tube jig mold. I'm going to pour epoxy resin in it to see how that works. Um, I use plastisol for the base. I've only ever done epoxy with clay, single-use molds. So I'm interested to see how this will work. And I've never seen an epoxy injection mold made before. I'm not sure how it will handle the high heat of the plastisol, but we're going to try to figure that out. And there's already one issue that I've seen. Um, this rod here is going to be my insert rod, and I want that. One of the issues I've had with a different open pore mold that I made was that this wouldn't line up properly. So I'm going to cut this so it's going to be fixed inside the mold, and I put splines on it and everything so that I don't have to cut tails, because cutting tails is the worst part of a tube jig. And tube jigs are why I got into plastisol, but I hate hand dipping. I made an open pore and I hate that. Although I do get some really cool, this open pore I just did, some really cool looks to it. But this is going to be a 6.5 to 6 3/4 inch mold. I haven't figured out how I want to do the tail. I might cut it down more, but I really wanted something bigger than 4.5, 4 3/4 that you find on the shelf. So it's going to be about a 6.5, 6 3/4 inch mold. So got to take this, put it in the 1/2 inch drill, and spin it around with a hacksaw, lathe style, cut it down, set it back in, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, update on the mold. I ended up not cutting all the way through the rod because I had that 1/2 inch hole there, so I just turned it down quite a bit. That way it will fill in and you can still insert the rod and not have it slide through. Added a couple bolts with got some wing nuts for those so that we can close up the mold without having to clamp it. Put in some indexing bars. Hopefully those will work. And set the whole jig back a little bit. That way I can drill out my hole for my injection, and also still have room for my rod. I've sprayed it down with mold release, or mold it prior and then mold release. So we're going to mix up some resin and do the first batch. The 2-part epoxy has been poured in. I did just the exact amount, so that came out perfect. Everything's set up. It's bubbling a little bit. I didn't get a lot of the bubbles out. I'm not too concerned about that. If it's not smooth or if it has bubbles, that's okay. Good or bad. We'll see if this is an epic fail or if it's going to work out. It would be awesome to do injection pours with tube jigs on the cheap, especially like a blending block or such. I'm excited. Let this set up for a day and a half or so and then flip it and do the other side. Alright, the mold has sat for 3 days, so it's demold time. There it is. I'm set it up for the upper half now. Mold set up. I put some soft bait plastic through the bolts. I already pulled those out. Clean it up. Alright, so I let the epoxy sit up for about a week. I've got it warm oiled up currently. This is what it came out looking like. It looks pretty rough. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to hold up to the heat. There's some soft spots in it that I don't think I mixed it completely as much as I should have, or I don't know, maybe it needs even longer. Shouldn't with a thick piece like that. But I also sanded it down so it fits up pretty good. It looks good. Looks semi-professional. Ended up losing one of my indexing pins, but it works. It looks like it'll work. I don't see any major gaps, so we're gonna try try to shoot it. I'm going to do a 2-part for my very first cast. I'm going to do glow chartreuse and glow blue, and we'll see how it works. Hopefully the tails come out good, and I won't need to use a tail cutter, and that the rod lines up well, because that was the issue I was having with my other cavity, was the rod was offsetting and creating shallow points or thin points in the tube jig. So here we go. I'm going to heat these up and we'll start injecting. We got a mixture of bait plastics 142 and 242. We have 365 on the chartreuse and 356 on the blue. So it's fairly close. The tube jig mold happens to fit right in my jig that I have set up for all my other baits. It's the same width as my 6-inch swim bait mold that I use for striped bass. So we're going to shoot this now. I'm going to do top bottom of the mold instead of side to side. Well, if that matters, not really a top or a bottom to this. And it's pretty cool that it's translucent. You can see the colors going in. Did not seal. I did not drill that hole out to the right side. It needed to be 5/8, and that didn't happen. Top that sprue off with some aqua blue. See how much she takes. Ripping tail now. It was cold, so that didn't work. Alright, I'm going to let that sit up for a few minutes and then we'll check back. I did have a bit of a leak. This all leaked out the bottom, so I definitely have a seal it up. I haven't put any air vents in this yet, so at least it shouldn't have any air bubbles or any empty spots. Although I did shoot it cold, the cold injector, cold blending block, cold mold, which I never like doing. You can see that's where my spot is. That is no good. Comes apart fairly easy. Oh, it's not too bad. Okay. Oh, that's where that other indexing part was that's going. So I don't see any. The sides. It's got a little bit of flashing right in there. I don't know if you can see that. You can see a little bit of the rod on the sides. So it's not deep enough in the middle, really. I mean, it's not bad. I want to run some lights, some little glow sticks, mini glow sticks I picked up. I wish I had more of a distinction on the sprue there, that you could just clip it off, but I'll just cut it off. And we could just re-dip it, just do the tip or something. I don't know, I'm gotta figure that part out. But take that, trim that off. But look at that. I mean, all you gotta do is break that off. It looks decent. Some of them are already done. Trim up some of that. I mean, that's a lot easier than cutting tails. Just pulls right apart. Some of them are more defined than others. I could probably define them more and whatnot. I need to take a Dremel tool and fix some imperfections in the mold and polish it up. It's definitely a little more slack than I really usually like. Here's one that's a little thicker. I mean, it's hard to, but yeah, looks decent. Kind of a cool color. I mean, that will work. It's a lot easier than dipping by hand. I mean, you get to do some cool color combos with it too. I really like how the tail came out. I mean, it's like perfectly round things. I mean, that's cool. That'll be nice. A lot easier than cutting tails too. Definitely need to work on some of this flashing issue that I've got. It's got some dents in it too from being cold. Let's shoot it again. Same color. This time I'm shooting a little bit cooler. 334 and 343. Also, I moved the mold over because I didn't notice that the it's not actually the same thickness as the swim bait mold. It's a little bit thinner, so at the base of it, it wasn't contacting anywhere. So I also put a little bit of super glue baking soda in that back corner, and hopefully that'll get it fixed so it won't squirt out. Combo the two. Alright, let's see if we can do this. I kind of want to shoot that ribbon tail worm mold with this too. I feel like that'd be a good color. Alright. Pull up to the top that time. Oh, I can't get that one. It might fit in that one. Well, I see some green dribbling down this way, but I don't see a big puddle like I had at the last one. I had that big puddle there. It is a nice little color combo though. I like that. I have some crankbaits that are that color combination I really like, so we'll just top that off. Sprue. Doesn't draw down much at all. Alright, I'm going to let it sit for about a minute, minute and a half, and we'll see how it looks this time. I meant to show the colors from the blending block, but I ripped it apart too early, but there's your color combo right there. It looks pretty neat. Alright. So this is sat about a minute and a half. Probably could cut those bolts down a little bit. I don't notice any leaks anywhere, so hopefully we had enough of a leak that air escaped and the plastisol didn't. Hopefully it's set up. Pick up on that side. I didn't add any more worm oil on this one from the last one either, so it is leaking down below that rod. I gotta seal that up a little better. Oh, it's warm, but it's not sticky. So I do have flashing still. I don't see any dimples. See quite a bit of flashing there. I don't see, and then the flashing that was at the base of the rod there. I don't see any dimples now. I don't see any voids or anything. Oh, it looks so good, and the tail splits right apart again. Ooh, that rod is hot. I don't know if I could break that off. It's still pretty. Yeah, you can break it off. Not the best, but. So I got flashing I gotta take care of. Probably just hit this with the heat gun. That'll melt that ridge right down. The tip actually looks better when you just yank it off, I guess. Man, I like that skirt. Look at that. You could just break that apart. That'd be way more fun than using a tail cutter. I hate tail cutters. Banging on those all day and cutting tails. Kind of cool. I think I might do a regular glow and maybe a glow pink, which is kind of like a pinkish orange, a salmon-y color. That'd be cool. We might as well see how the ribbon tail worked out. This is a really cold aluminum mold, so I'm guessing that it didn't pour all the way, but we'll check it out. Oh, it did. It's pretty. Nice, subtle, vibrant colors. There goes the camera. Real nice, subtle, pretty colors. Pop that off. Oh, I like that a lot. And that's a very, very vivid gold. I'll turn the lights off real quick and you can see it. We're going to turn the lights off and see how it glows. Oh, like that. So you can see the blue and the green from the blending block sprues. 7-inch ribbon tail worm. That's going to be cool. I might jig with that for togue even. And then there she is. This is some really good glow stuff. I've got a bunch of different combinations of glow colors along with blue glow and chartreuse glow added in heavy, so that even though the color is blue and the color is chartreuse, it actually glows those colors too, which is pretty neat. So yeah, those look cool, especially when I break that skirt apart. I should do that real quick. Let me do that real quick. I trimmed the tail down. It's got some cool little flashing points all throughout the tail where it's got like, almost looks like little suction cups, like a octopus or something. They're kind of neat. I melted down the flashing seams with the heat gun. I put some eyes on it and some holographic eyes. I got this blend that I call confetti. It's clear with a little bit of pearl white mica powder. With some color shift and highlight to it, and just a bunch of like holographic high temp large and small flake. So gonna just dip that in it, seal the eyes on, and just give it a little bit smoother. Nose came out smoother too when I hit it with the heat gun. Just swirl that around. Gives it a little bit of depth too to it. Wait for that to drip off. Look at that! I love it. I'm gonna catch a 20-pound lake trout with this. This is perfect. Just gonna turn the light out again. This is the top to the chartreuse glow green and the sky blue or aqua blue powder, and then this is, man, this looks so good. This was the first one we did with all the issues of the cold mold. So let's turn the light off on this. Look at that. Oh, it's gonna look so good. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Well, thank you for watching this. Also, I got a lead pouring jig mold in. I got a couple of these, so I'm gonna try to pour some lead on some hooks and use them in these, and then that'd be awesome, catch a fish like that. So thank you for watching, and until next time, tight lines.